What's up, y'all? The reviewer is here, and I'm back to give y'all this album review of South Click called Rebel Slave. And I know some of y'all thinking, didn't you do an album review on this one before? Yes, I have. But I remember when I first did the album review, I didn't really have like all the information and all that about South Click. All right, so I'm gonna give a better explanation for those that may not know who South Click were. South Click is a rap group that consists of artists named Blackfist. He's from Timmonsville, South Carolina. And there's another artist named Theo G. He's from Huntsville, Alabama. They collaborate and came out with 3 nice albums. The first one was Nothing But Drama. Second one is this one here, Rebel Slave, and the third one was December 31st, 1999, which I'm going to review the other 2 in the near future. With all that being said, I had the CD for a while and I played it, I listened to it again. I may have some changes that I have said from the previous album that I may not mention again. The producers for this album were D-Star, Dez, Drew, and Mike Fannin and Hodge Smith. Those are all the producers for this album. And then for the features, I'll say who they are as I go through the track list. So let's go with the songs now. Zooming in a little bit. Should be good. All right, so the first one is called Introduction, and they're just doing a little talking in Spanish. I believe that's the language. And then the second one is Signs of the Time. Checking the cops out the window, then getting raised and paranoid at the same time, still twisting endo. Make no mistake, yo. This is a really dope track right here. I believe that's Blackfist rapping at the beginning, and he comes through with a really nice verse. And then Theo G does really good with his. Now, in case y'all don't know what they're rapping about, they're being a little prophetic with theirs, you know what I'm saying? They're speaking about the revelations and the signs of the time of the world coming to an end, which I believe the world is coming to an end, but I'll speak more of that on another video. All right, but overall, this is a really nice track from these guys. And the next one is called Rebel Slave. Let's slay it out. This is a blazing cut from these guys. The vocals that sings on the hook is someone named Daisy Moore. And I believe that sample is from an old school song. This is on point, man. Blackfist and Theo G, they come through with some really dope verses. But still they label me a gangster for what? Maybe because I express so much anger over the funky cuts. Nothing but drama like I told you. You know, they're talking about their times. They feel like they're a rebel slave into this industry and some other things. I speak the truth for real. If I don't get no bigger, you better believe that I would die trying to make my mind richer so we can flee from. But this is one of my personal favorites off of the album, straight up. If you haven't heard this song before, you can hear snippets on it on here, and I must recommend you peep it out. The next one is We Don't Need. Everybody wanna take a ride, but we don't need and this is a really nice track from South Click. They dropped some really dope verses on here. They got me caught up in this shit they call criminal trespass, playing my intelligence. How long could a nigga last? This is a solid track with some really dope vocal. This is probably one of my personal favorites off of the album. Some people may not like it, but I love it, man. It's really dark sounding, and they dropping some really nice lyrics. Hit the neighborhood block, pick up my comrades quickly, then we set up shop. Who got the fat sack, but still I can feel some smoke. Now, I'll be honest, this is a really tight track, but I don't bump it as much. They wonder why I delay. If that makes sense. I think a lot of those that smoke would love this track, man. The vocals sung by Daisy Moore. She sings the hook. And the beat is nice though. And again, this goes out to the smokers out there that may love this type of content.
Better leave me alone, I'm trying to blaze, need some privacy. Knowing my weed gon' get the best of me, but the beast. And
Simply beautiful. Oh man, I love this song right here. And South Click is dropping some really nice vocals on here. The people who sings the hook is Todd Shoulders, Sister Tisa, I believe that's her name, and Pharaoh. Although I believe that's one name, but I can't be too sure. And they did really nice on here. This is another one of my personal favorites off of the album.
the housing projects where I live got niggas so shady. If you don't take, then they don't give. It's driving me crazy, but still.
I remember back then, in those times back in '98, when I heard this album or when I heard this track, I fell in love with the song instantly. And I'm like, this is a really beautiful track, hence the title of the song.
You got to make yourself useful. All about to come up on the real and make it simply beautiful.
The next one is Buster Free. This is a really tight track, man, and the beat goes in.
Why they steady sweating me? Cause every time they step up in the camp of the SC, we Buster Free. Why they steady sweating me?
One of my personal favorites off of here as well. South Click really dropped some really dope vocals. I love that first verse.
The media be tripping, portraying every nigga like an idiot. Somebody better tell them like this don't really give a shit.
I love that part because that's how the media thinks. You know what I'm saying? They believe we're stupid. But again, I ain't gonna get in depth with that right now. This is a really tight track, and like they say, we stay Buster Free.
Black, you know the flag got the tax, but the gang unit got your back, asking where my hood at. But you know nothing about the
Beyond the Millennium. This is just an interlude, and you gotta hear what this man is saying on this track. No one raps on here, but it's just a lot of talking. I guess you should say preaching about the future and what things are going to and all that. And some of them things were even predicted well.
He will rule for the great city, New York City. This is real. This is what they plan to do.
So some of the things that's been spoken on here is actually being or taking place right now. Breakout. This is a track, I think I didn't review the song, but this is a track that I was digging because like I said, I was listening to it again to get a better understanding. They dropping some really nice vocals, and if y'all don't know what breakout means, that means get the hell out of here, cops is on the way and all that stuff. And they laying some nice vocals about that, and the beat goes in.
Hit the motherfucking corner, I get caught, then I'm gonna turn up in the parking lot. Then me go the quickie cops pulling in 3 deep, and now a nigga might do it.
This is probably one of my personal favorites off of the album. With Me or Against Me. This is a nice track from these guys as well.
If they ain't with me, then they must be against me. If they ain't with me, then they must be against me. If they ain't with me, then they must.
Blackfist, he raps first, and he comes through with some really dope vocals.
And the bitches spitting back on me, thinking they got it made because I paid for the Hennessy. The games people like to play.
I love that part because I don't know why I always say that, you know, with the Hennessy and all that. They talking about some things and basically saying if you ain't with me, then you must be against me. There's no in between. But the beat is solid, and they drop some really nice lyrics.
They say I'm wrong, but the lifestyle is real, and I quote, don't nobody give a damn about the black folks that sell dope.
First Blow. This is a really nice cut from South Click.
I feel the end coming slow. The enemy's knocking on my neighbor's front door. Gotta skip this drop when it's your time to go. Don't maneuver.
The beat is nice, and they dropping some nice lyrical verses from them.
It's time to tone up on my P's and Q's. Stack hella chips and watch them live. I'm sick of paying dues. Oh my lordy. Only the spirit can be the motivation for this flow.
This is one of them tracks that if you're a lyric head, you would definitely love this track. Carolina Backwood.
Keeping out your good, cause I'm stuck and I press your love up in these Carolina backwoods. I'm keeping out your good.
I love this track right here. They almost kind of remind me of Outkast a little bit, the way they're rapping on here. And I ain't saying they copying Outkast, but it kind of reminds me of it.
Reaching on the microphone, you know it's on. That tone I be hitting every time I be spitting. So I never had a chance.
And the beat is nice as well. I think they sampled it from a East Coast track. I can't remember for sure. They go in on this song. I love that hook too.
Think it was Friday, or then again maybe it was Saturday. Anyway, I'm out for my pay. Happy birthday to me.
POW. This is a really nice track from these guys.
Babylon, beware. Peeping at the overseer as I'm stopping stare. Make no mistake, even though them hard times may trouble you.
And I'm not sure who sings the hook. I believe it's them. I believe it's South Click that raps the hook. This track goes in and they talking about some revelations and some situations that might happen in the future, or it could be happening right now.
I got to think before I move with dirty tactic I can use, keeping my people from getting abused. The cricket government and cops, but
I love that third verse, man. If you listen to that third verse, you would know why I say that. This verse is probably very scary a little bit.
What the hell? Been there for 666 days. Time that cannot be replaced. How could I face that judge?
Very dark to add. But this is one of my personal favorites off of the album, because I remember I used to play this song a lot too. And the last one is called We Be Spittin'.
step up in your motherfucking zone, the zone, nigga. We be spitting on the microphone. We be spitting on the microphone.
This is another track that most of y'all should dig, man, because they actually sounding like the East Coast artists. If you listen to them, they're being lyrical with theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Recognize when you see the SCG in the sky. Enforcer, technician to the lyrics I supply. With the microphone guarded cause I'm cold hard.
This track is on point. And I've always loved that part when they say,
check me out as I flow. Why they play or hate the South, man, I don't know.
I love that part because if y'all remember back in those times in the late 90s, there was a lot of biased comments and behaviors toward the South, thinking that we were country and slow. Hence why I started making reviews. If y'all, I ain't gonna get into that. But anyway, this is a nice track and it's a nice way to end off the album. So that's all the songs that I review for this album. And to rate this, I would rate this from an 8.5 to a 9. So I would give this an 8.75 out of 10. South Click to me did a really awesome job with this album. And some of the things that they said, like I said, was extremely prophetic with theirs. And they spoke on some issues that was going on at that time. And I still think it goes on today. You know, the media just now being a little more subliminal. But for those that can read between the lines, it's, you know, it's obvious that they still have some biased mindsets. You know what I mean? So I feel like South Click did really better than their first album, Nothing But Drama, which was good too. But I feel like Rebel Slave, they stepped their game up and became more lyrical with theirs and more poetic as well. So with that being said, I just want to say shout out to South Click for coming out with a dope album. If y'all haven't heard this album before, y'all should check the streams. It should be on the streams, but like I always said, I prefer the physical copies and all that good stuff. So that's my opinion about it, and shout out to the producers and shout out to all the singers that sung on the hooks. All right, much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right, peace out and break out.
Break out, everybody break out, break out, break out, everybody break out, break out, break out.